What's going on, guys? What's going on? So yeah, I had to end that live earlier, only because I thought I was on break. I really thought I was on break. So yeah, now that I'm back, just talking about the construction, where I'm at. As I said in my previous live, bathroom is done. Both bathrooms, sinks installed, vanities installed. Did all the plumbing. So when I get ready to start the upper level, pretty much the plumbing will be done. It's set up and ready to go. But I'm mostly excited about doing completing the second step, because there are a lot of things that I missed. The Nobody 92. What's going on, brother? What's going on? Thank you for joining the live, bro. Appreciate you coming on the live. Just giving everybody some brief updates on where I'm at. I had to end my previous live that I just did maybe about a half hour ago, only because I wasn't on break. They calling me on my live like, yo, you are on break. But yeah, so just talking about that, just talking about the construction and pretty much where I'm at. And Nobody 92, congratulations to you, bro, on your purchase of your property. And I'm sure once you get to where I got, you're gonna see it's not easy. It's not easy, especially when you're doing it, phase by phase. Joseph, what's going on? Where's the location of your property? Location of my property is located in Puerto Plata. Okay, it's in right by the Confresi, the lifestyle resorts. Today's the Dominican Day Parade in NYC. I know. And had I known that it was, I wish I would have known, because I probably would have just taken off. Today was my day off, but I'm grinding. I'm grinding because I'm due to go back down there and let's say two more weeks. So I'm pretty much setting myself up now financially. Guys, this shit was overwhelming. Very, very overwhelming. And this is one of the reasons why I took some time off from this whole internet shit, to say the least. I had to take some time off just to digress. This has been a journey for me, guys, a journey. And for those of you who are looking to build, like the Nobody 92, I appreciate you, man. I really do. I want to say that um, all of these videos that I have put out, I feel like, if it only helped one or two people, then I did my job. You know what I mean? And I'm happy that you have decided to jump out there and invest in your country, because even though you were born in the United States, you are Dominican, you Dominican background. But for you to invest in your country, man, and tell me I'm the one that gave you the encouragement to do so, man. I'm happy for you, man. I really am, and I really want people to see past what is here in the United States. You know what I mean? We're at a time where things are just so expensive. I mean, not just United States, but all over, guys. Let's face it. But if you can take your money and make it work somewhere else, why not do it? Why not do it? Nah, get that money, bro. Yeah, I got to get this money, only because I done, I done shipped out, guys. I done shipped out all, and you guys are gonna see all of this. I'm not one of those people that like asking for donations from people, and I'm like that myself. If I want to donate something, I need to see what I'm donating to, and that will move me to donate, But all of what you guys are gonna see when I'm down there, all of this has come out of my pocket, in terms of, giving back to the community, ensuring that kids have all that they need to get back, to go to school. Because it's unfortunate that a lot of locals can't afford to provide their kids with the essentials. We're talking about pens, pencils, notebooks, book bags, so that their kids can have a successful school year, So that was important to me. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Did I have the money? Hell no. I barely was able to send all of this stuff out, but God is good, man. God is good, So I managed to ship out all the barrels and all the pens, pencils, book bags, and that's going to be the contribution to my community. So you guys will be seeing all of this live on the channel, when I get down there August 29th. Me and my partner are looking to build in Cabarete. Is it Cabarete, Joseph, or Cabrera? Because you got Cabarete or Cabrera. And have you decided what part? Have you been down to Dominican Republic? For those of you who are looking to build in DR, okay? And I know sometimes I feel like I be repeating myself over and over again, and that's only because I got new viewers coming in. You know what I mean? So what I may have said previously, it may not apply to you, but it will apply to people who are just joining my channel. For those of you guys who are looking to invest in Dominican Republic, I say it all the time. It has gotten very expensive. It's gotten very expensive to the point where you may have to start researching smaller cities, to get what you want. You know what I mean? No, the Nobody 92. He bought, and he is Dominican, so that does count. you know, I'm sure the Nobody 92. You got your property at a Dominican price, but he got it in Santiago, and I keep telling you guys, Santiago. Start looking in the Campos of Santiago. I'm not talking about the central city of Santiago, because if you're looking to live in the central part of Santiago, you're going to pay to live there. Okay, it's not cheap to live there either. Because when I go down there, I'm going ca- Cabarete. Okay, so it's Cabarete. You spelling it Cabaret. It's Cabrera and Cabarete. Okay. So you telling me Cabarete. One thing I will say about Cabarete, Joseph, it's a beautiful place, man. But if you want to live in places like that, just keep in mind that you're going to pay for it. Okay, it's not cheap to live in to buy in those areas. Cabarete, Sosua, Puerto Plata. And I know a lot of people want to live in those areas only because it's close by the beach, etc., etc. However, guys, there are other places in Puerto Plata where you can move. I mean, it might not be directly, from the beach, directly to the beach, but you can still have that beach access and spend, less than what you would pay, opposed to moving in the tourist areas where you have beach access. So if you one of those people that have hookups on where you're trying to build and where you want to build, you might need to readjust your mindset. Okay, you might want to readjust that mindset only because, especially now, guys, just for a person like myself, the way things are happening now in terms of like climate change and global warming and all that shit, I don't want to live next to a beach. I don't want to live next to water, period. Okay? All this flooding and stuff that's happening, and it's starting to happen at a rapid pace, and it's only going to get worse as time goes on. This is one of the reasons why I never invested in Florida. I have no desire to invest in any place where it's prone to getting flooded out due to hurricanes and natural disasters. You see what I'm saying? So, I tell my viewers, make sure that you do your research and really, really think about where you want to invest your money before you start investing. Especially areas where you may have flooding issues. Okay, so research that before you start investing your money in Dominican Republic. Okay, just keep that in mind. Like for instance, back in, I'd say, Life of Bill, what's going on, my brother? What's going on? I'd say back like 2 years ago, when I first got started and started advertising on the channel and showcasing properties and stuff, I fell in love, guys, with Sabaneta. Fell in love with it, especially the land that's now. It's a beautiful, beautiful place, beach access, mountain views, ocean views, etc., etc. However, in Sabaneta, there's different parts that you have to be careful investing in, only because Sabaneta is prone to flooding. Okay, only because you have the river and the beach near. The beach meets the river meets the beach. The river meets the ocean, I should say. So places like that, you just got to do your research and make sure it's feasible, and worth investing in. Like for me, houses up in the mountains. Granted, I mean, if it does rain, the only thing that I have to worry about pretty much is landslides and shit like that. But when you're building it up in the mountains, the main goal is to make sure that your foundation is you have a reinforcement on your foundation to prevent all those things from happening. If in case you encounter a natural disaster. But yeah, for sure, guys, for sure. Yeah, good info, bro. Nah, man, and this is why I'm here. I've been traveling Dominican Republic since 2015. So, I've done a lot of research throughout the years of traveling there. I'm pretty much seasoned, in terms of how to navigate myself in Dominican Republic. So, any information that I could provide my viewers, man, this is what I'm here for. The last thing I want people to do is go out there and waste their money, on a property, and then they end up having issues later on down the line. You know what I mean? Because a realtor out there, the difference between here in the United States is, we there are regulations, that protects us, that protects the buyer. There are really no regulations in that protects the buyers in Dominican Republic. Y'all have to keep in mind that this is a third world country. It's an unregulated market. So when you're investing your money, you really can't go by what somebody's telling you. You have to do your research, and even if you have to hire somebody just to oversee and check and make sure that all of what they're telling you before you invest in your money is correct. Listen, I'd rather spend a little extra money to save me a long term a headache and potential problems. Okay, yeah. So I always say, spend the extra money to give you a peace of mind. Okay, it's important because it's just a different way of life in Dominican Republic. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. Everybody's looking to get a dollar, especially the American dollar. Is when they know that you a gringo, trust and believe you me, the price goes up. And this is why, people ask me, well, damn, who's managing your project? How did you manage to get this far? And I can't take credit. I can't take the credit for it. I can't. The only thing that I have done in terms of my house is pick out the materials for the finishings and shit like that. When it comes to the managing and ensuring that everything is getting done efficiently, effectively, and all of the above, I got to give credit to my partner, man. I got to give him all the credit for that. I can literally come home, work my ass off, and sleep good at night, knowing that every dollar that I spend is being put in where it's supposed to be. You see what I'm saying? And that is important. You have a lot of foreigners who want to invest in Dominican Republic, who have this idea that they're going to go out there and get their own team, and all of that takes time, and it's a process. And I say it time and time again, guys, I have lost a couple of thousands of dollars along the way, only because I didn't have the right connections at the time. So for those of you who are looking to do the groundwork on your own, all I say to you guys is good luck, and make sure you are physically there. And if you're one of those people who are saying to yourself, "Oh, I'm going to manage my property. I'm going to be the one to oversee everything." If you are not experienced in construction, how do you know that they're doing things the correct way? Let's just be for real. They could be screwing you over right in front of your face and you won't even know it until the house is built. And then you have long-term issues, that you got to deal with. And we're not just talking about um, people you just picking up off the street to do work for you. We're even talking about licensed contractors here. Okay? Licensed contractors do the same stuff. So just be careful and do your research in terms of who you want to hire to do your project. Okay? Yeah. It's just very important, man. It's very important. But for me, I'm at the point now, I'm just like, I could take a breath of fresh air, man. Like I could sit back, and that's pretty much what I plan on doing when I get down there, guys. Um, I do have some properties that I am going to showcase on the channel, apartments. I'm really focusing on uh, Santiago. only because, as I say, guys, prices have skyrocketed in Puerto Plata, and whatever I do have in Puerto Plata that's relatively cost effective for you guys. Of course, I'll advertise it. But as y'all know, man, I really strive to help the middle class like myself get a piece of the pie before it's too late. Everything, like I said, guys, things have gone up so much. It's becoming not affordable anymore. Even with the construction on the second level of my home, sometimes I say to myself, damn. Sometimes I say to myself, damn, I should have just, you know, um, did the first level and kept it moving. You know what I mean? I should have just did the second level and kept it moving. But me being who I am, I just had to do that second level. I just had to do it, and now it's gonna cost me. But it's okay. It's okay because I mean it's no rush for me at this point. You see what I'm saying, guys? That's the good thing. Once you get to where your house, especially if you're one of those people that's doing it phase by phase like me. Once you get to that point where the first level of your home is done, you're saving yourself a hell of a lot of money because now you're cutting out the Airbnb costs. You see what I'm saying? And then you don't really have to rush. It's no rush to do the top level. I'm gonna take my time. Now that my house is pretty much livable. So if it takes me a year and a half to do the second level, then it'll take me a year and a half. But I don't really have to worry about coming down there and spending money on Airbnbs because I can live in my house while I'm completing the top level. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. And then also, for me anyway, I plan on buying more property up there because I was looking into buying property somewhere else, and I'm just like, why buy property somewhere else when you got property still for sale up where you're at? So that's what I plan on doing. I plan on buying this property right next door to mine. And then at that point, once I buy that, I'm trying to negotiate the price with the owner because I've been pretty much stalling him, with buying it, only because I got so much shit going on with my project. But now that it's pretty much done, I'm ready to negotiate a price with this man and buy those two lots, the front and the back lot, so that once I buy that, guys, I can just wall off the whole property because that's what I'm going to do. I plan on once I buy those two pieces of lots, I'm going to make a wall, okay, and then I figure later on in the future, I will use those other two lots to build like a small bungalow, nothing crazy, because that's another thing. When you're living down there full time, you got to have some kind of income that you can generate. You know what I mean? While you're sustaining yourself, I mean, not while, but to sustain yourself while you're there full time. Let's just face it. As the years progress, those of us who are living on a fixed income, inflation goes up, so that fifth, you think everything is going to be the same price 10 years from now, especially if you're living off a fixed income of like $1,600, so it's for you to really brainstorm what businesses you want to bring to DR so that you have not just a fixed income but you have some other money generating so that you're not just solely depending on a fixed income, if that makes sense. So, as I said, for me, and I initially I said to you guys that I give myself maybe like a 2 year span before I transition myself down there full time. But I think that might change because, like I said, once this house is done, I do want to build another little bungalow right next door, so that I can manage that property and Airbnb it, while I'm living down there full time. I need another piece of property, so the prices up by me is still affordable. And that's another thing that I want to talk about, guys, like buying land and where you buying land. Now, I have caught a lot of flack about buying land in a Dominican neighborhood, poor community, et cetera, et cetera. But listen, guys, this is my reasoning, okay? Um, the reason why I bought where I bought is because Philly Dom Side Dude 007. I appreciate you, brother. J Day, keep striving for greatness, youngster. I appreciate you, my bro. And I always appreciate your love and support, for real. I know who you are. You've been following me for a minute. But yeah, like I was saying about building, in like, low impoverished areas and stuff. Back in the day, I'm not a Brooklynite, but I'm a New Yorker. And living in Brooklyn for over 10 years, man, there were parts of Bedford Stuyvesant that people didn't want to invest their money. Now, 10 years later, okay, these areas that people didn't want to invest their money in, foreigners done came in and drove up the value of these properties in these low impoverished areas. So it's no different than what's happening in DR, okay? It had to take somebody like me to start the gentrification, only because I seen the vision. You understand? I seen the vision. I have $1 million view. Once I build that top level, man, I walk out of my balcony. I got $1 million view. And it's quiet, it's peaceful, it's so much. Up there has a lot to offer. It has a lot to offer. So this is one of my reasons as to why I built up there. And I say it time and time again. I'm not trying to bring that westernized mentality to Dominican Republic. If I wanted to live in a Casa Linda or one of those places, yeah, it may have cost me a little bit more money, but I could have done that too. You understand? I could have done that too. But, everybody has to do what's best for them. Everybody has their own idea how they want to live. But me, I decided to invest in DR and build my home in a Dominican neighborhood, to embrace the culture, to make an impact, to make a difference. A lot of us go down there with the idea that we go down there with this preconceived notion that we should be helped by the local people. We have to understand we're dealing with people with a third world mentality. Okay, so they're trying to get by day, whereas we plan for our stuff. You know what I mean? And we plan for our future. We plan for our kids. We plan for everything. They have no plans, only because they're just trying to get by day by day. But that was my reasoning for building, in the compo. It's affordable, and not just that, guys. Like my partner Shamo, he's just not managing my property. We have other properties that we're managing as well, okay? And we have a client that thought, and we told him, and I'm going to share this with you guys, so that for those of you who are starting to build, you need to know this, before you start building, okay? And we warned him, he told us do it anyway, but we did warn him. Told him, before he started, he needed to have all his permits in place, have everything in place before we started the construction. He said that he was going to get the permits, told us to get started. We got started. Next thing you know, the government came by, seen the construction, stopped us from doing it, and fined him for it as well. Now he had to pay more money, So when if you're one of those people that want to build in a tourist area, just know you're going to pay for it, okay? You're going to pay. And you have to have all your permits in place before you get started, you know? And it depends on where you want to build. Depending on where you're building is going to determine how much you're going to spend, for your construction. So just keep that in mind, guys. You must have your permits. For me, building in the compo, I'm all the way up in the hills. Ain't nobody going up in there. You know what I mean? The only way they would know is that I'm building up there. And if they were to go up there now, it's too late. My house is damn near done. So what are you gonna charge me? It's damn near done. So I got away with, and that's what my partner Shamo said. He said, "You're lucky. The only reason why you avoided having to pay that is because your house is up in the mountains. It's not in the tourist area, off a main road where it's noticeable to the government that you're building up there. You see what I'm saying? So this is the advantage that I have over people who are, as I said, looking to build in the compos and etc. I mean, not the compos, but the tourist areas, etc., etc. Yeah. And yo, it's six of y'all on here. I'm talking. Guys, be sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe. And for those of you who don't know where it's at, three dots on the top right corner. I appreciate it, man. This is informative and free information. It costs you guys nothing. Nev on the daily, what's going on? What's going on? So yeah, guys, I'm excited. It's been 8 months. 8 months. I haven't been to DR in 8 months. That is the longest I have been away from DR. Normally, I'm one of those who make it down there 3 to 4 times a year, But when you have somebody that's managing your property, there was no need for me to go down there until I'm ready to pretty much move in. You see what I'm saying? And I thank God for that. And I think that you guys, especially for those of you who can't make it down, who's trying to work and hustle up the money so that they can get to their next phase. Like it's a breath of fresh air to be able to have somebody with boots on the ground to help you oversee your project. That way because all of that, when I first got started, guys, honestly, when I first got started, I could have saved a lot of money. I didn't have my partner at the time that was managing my project. You see what I'm saying? So I was making it down there 3 and 4 times a year. That first year, I've traveled to DR like 4 times that first year to manage to see what was going on with the property, and that was a lot of money that I wasted. So I'm telling you guys, try to find somebody that you can trust that's going to manage your property, okay? So that you don't have to keep making these trips down to Dominican Republic. That's money that you could be saving every month, man. Because once you start building, I'm telling you guys, every dollar counts. Every dollar counts. Every dollar. You know, I watch the cost of everything. And I was one of those people. I was a frivolous spender. I'm not gonna lie. It used to be like that, but once you start building, it will discipline your ass. It will discipline you. Trust me. And I was one of my viewers would hit me up. Shout out to Crazy World that I be chopping it up with on WhatsApp. But he hit me up. He was like, "Yeah, Jay, I was telling one of my coworkers that I work with that you're building in DR and you're pretty much done." And I told him, I said, "Yo, I tell anybody that's looking to build and get started, this shit is not a walk in the park. Okay, there's gonna be sleepless nights. There's gonna be a lot of sacrificing. There's gonna be a lot of stressing. Trust me. I may present myself one way, on the channel, but you have no idea what goes on behind the scenes. You see what I'm saying? Because you can never really set a budget for yourself because there's always something that you have to do, okay? And you really can't base it on somebody what you're going to spend versus what somebody else spent, only because I'm just going to give you some examples. The foundation of your home might be different in terms of like the soil, so you might have to spend a little bit more money for reinforcement. Um, uh, if you don't have architectural plans, and I'm transparent with you guys, I had to spend a little bit more extra money, only because like with the electrical and the plumbing, I had to spend a little bit more, and I'm going to tell you why. When I first hired the initial builder for my project, as y'all know, he screwed me over. I had to fire his ass, and my partner brought on his people. And once they got started, because once I fired my initial contractor, the construction of the home was already built. So there was things that was supposed to have been done in terms of bringing in the electrician and the plumber. So after the house was built, they had to do what's the word? They had to do alternatives to get the electrical done because they didn't have architectural plans to go by. You see what I'm saying? When I fired my initial contractor, he had my architectural plans. So this electrician, they didn't have anything to go by. So they had to pretty much do all of this without architectural plans. And this is why it cost me a little bit more money opposed to somebody who has their plans on hand so that the electrician can do what they need to do without having to, make adjustments in order to do the electric installation. You understand? So this is the reason as to why I ended up spending a little bit more money on the electric and the plumbing. So it's little things like that, you know. So I always tell people, if a contractor is giving you a budget of, let's just say they tell you, okay, it's going to cost you 320,000 to build this home. Um, Make sure you have an extra $10,000 on the side for emergencies, for things that you didn't expect to come up. You know what I mean? Especially when they're digging. You might have um, when they're digging into your foundation to do the foundation, they might stumble across a huge rock, in which they got to dig that out. So that might cost a little extra. So it's just little miscellaneous things like that that you don't expect to come up. You know what I mean? That you may have to spend a little bit more money on. So I always tell you guys, just make sure you have a little bit extra. Okay. So that's one thing you guys should always keep in mind, and then also looking at other homes to give you ideas, so that when you little bells and whistles that you might miss, because there's little things that I missed out on, and I'll give you an example. Like when I was doing the showers, the bathrooms, I didn't think to tell the contractor to make a space so that I could have like my soap and stuff, a soap area, in the shower. So now I have to buy one of those things that hang over the shower so that I can keep my liquid soaps and bar soaps. So that's what I missed on the first floor. So that when I do the second level, I'll make sure that I tell the contractor, please make sure you install soap dispensers inside the shower so that I can store my soap and stuff like that. So just little small things like that, you don't want to miss out on. And I tell you guys all the time, now that the first level is done, I'm more excited to do the second level. I really am, because I'm going to eat now that the first level is done. I'm going to customize the second level exactly how I want it, and I'm going to take my time doing it. You know what I mean? Because if in case I decide to sell it, because somebody asked me, well, Jay, if after it's all said and done, and somebody asks to, gives you an offer on it, would you sell it? I say, yo, if the price is right, yeah, I'm gonna sell it. If the price is right, I'm gonna sell it, and buy me another property and do it all over again you know and this is one of the reasons why I highly encourage you guys to invest in Dominican Republic. And the only reason why I say it, even though it's still getting expensive, it's not yeah still getting expensive. My main reasoning why I always push people to invest in DR is because it's an unregulated market. That's the main reason. You can really capitalize out in and people have done it already. There are people have bought land and flipped it 2 and 3 times, and then use that flip money to go and buy more. You know what I mean? So I always say, even if you have to borrow off a pension, or take a loan out, and you buy 1,000 square meters, I guarantee you within a year or so, you might triple your money, depending on where you buy this land. If it's in a community where houses are being built at a rapid pace, I'd say buy that land right away. And then once those houses start going up, you could really see a nice return on your money when you're investing out there. Even like, in Punta Cana, what's his name? A view of mine, Troy. I had him on the channel. Shout out to Troy. Troy bought his villa for 100K during the pandemic. He told me, he said, Jay, my neighbor just sold his property for 240. This is we're talking 4 years later. So that man then pretty much doubled his he walked away with he spent 100,000, he walked away with 140 in 4 years. So this is just an example of how fast of a turn you can see on your money. And that's another thing, guys. This is why I tell people, people want to come to America. They say it's a land of the free, it's a land of opportunity. We don't realize how fucked up America is until we get older. You know what I mean? And I'm saying this to say that because I'm living it. I'm like, yo, I make decent, relatively decent money, can't afford to buy can't afford to buy what I want, I should say. And if you're making a decent money, you should be able to afford to buy what you want. And they just have made it so hard for us that we can't even do it no more. But um I'm saying this is like when you buy property in America, for an example, you buy you okay, let's just say you bought your home, you had it for 10 years, and you decide, you know what, fuck it, I'm out. I want to sell this property, I'm done. I don't even want to buy any more property in the United States. Let's just say you sell that house for 340, okay? If you don't buy another house with that money, the government's going to tax that money. They're going to tax it. So it's like you're forced to buy something that you probably don't want to buy. So that's the difference between America and DR. DR, you sell your house for 340,000. That $340,000 is yours, whether you want to buy another property or not. That government's not taxing that money. America wants they want their hands on every single piece of money you make. And that's another reason why I'm like, yo, it's time to go. It's time to go. I have my personal reasonings. And also, guys, the pandemic was an eye opener for me. It was a major eye opener. Especially for people who are living in urban cities. Um, we are so dependent on the government to supply and demand us with just the essentials. you know and going through that during the pandemic taught me a valuable lesson. It taught me that we can't depend on the government for everything, because there's going to come a time where shit is going to run dry. Okay. And I know this is going to happen, and y'all might call me a conspiracy theorist or whatever. Say what you want, but I know this is going to eventually happen. Where we're going to run out of natural resources. It's funny because my boy Brooklyn Nomad, shout out to him, who's out in the Philippines right now. His girl lives in she lives in the Campo of Philippines. And I said to them, I said, how did y'all survive during the pandemic? They were okay. They had cows, they had chickens, they had everything that they needed to sustain themselves, where everyone else throughout the world was going through it, especially people who are living in the urban communities, Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, Manhattan, LA, all those places like where we don't have access to land to whereas we can grow our own fruits and vegetables and live off the land if in case a natural disaster or the economy's so fucked up that we can't access just the essentials. So I think about all of that, and this is one of the reasons why I said, you know what, it's better I build my land up there, and then there's no regulations, there's no stipulations of what I can and cannot do. So that's all of my reasonings as to why I'm like, yo, let me set my life out in DR so that when shit hits the fan here in the States, I'm on the next plane out of here. You know what I mean? And as I said, I'm living off my land. I'm living off my land. Everything that can grow, that I can grow, I'm going to grow it. You know, and that's the difference between, like I said, building in the campo versus a casa linda or a gated community. Those places, there's stipulations. You can't play your music at a certain loud at a certain hour. You can't have certain animals, cows, chickens, and goats and stuff like that. All of those things, there's stipulations on those things. So my thing is, why invest money in a place where there's stipulations and you can't do what you want to do? I don't want nobody telling me I got to turn my music off at a certain hour. I spent my money for this house. You think I want to hear that? No. So these are the kind of reasons why I went that route. Okay. Just gonna read this question. Abel Music. Hey Jay, I saw the video you sent me yesterday. Your house looks nice. Thanks, bro. And I appreciate you. All my followers, man. I know everyone who's been following me from the start of my construction, and I appreciate you guys. I even had somebody tell me. He said, Jay, I didn't think you were gonna get it done. It's just so many bad stories. I didn't think you were going to be able to manage to get this done. He said, but you did it. You did it. And for those guys who have been following me from day one, a lot of y'all have my personal number and follow me on WhatsApp. So I always any updates that I'm doing in terms of the house, I always share it on my stories. So you guys get it before it even hits, on the before I even upload it on the channel. I make it so that you guys can see that. So for those of you guys who have my number, I'm sure you guys already seen, the bathroom and stuff like that. Yeah, so I appreciate that, Abel. I do. But yeah, man, I'm just I'm happy to say the least. I mean, I'm very transparent. I'm at the point in my life, guys, where I'm living paycheck to paycheck. It is what it is. My savings has depleted itself. Sup and but now, kid, what's going on, Magulian? Yeah, guys, I'm sorry about that. I got disconnected. But yeah, like I was saying, I gotta definitely make it out to but now, Magulian. Gotta make it out there, brother. Gotta make it out there. Um, but yeah, man, I'm just congrats, Jay. Way to hang in there, Copperman 69. I appreciate you, my brother. And let me tell you guys, it has, like I said, it has been a journey. Um, and one of my viewers said, like I said, I didn't think you were gonna get it done. I didn't think. He said, I'm gonna be honest with you. I heard so many bad stories in DR. You know, with people building houses, getting scammed, and all of that. I didn't think you was gonna get it done. The proof is in the pudding, to say the least. I don't really have to talk about it. Um, my advice to people who are doing it my way, who are looking to do it my way, I always tell you guys to pace yourself, take your time. Uh, it's a lot of sacrificing, and a lot of budgeting. You know what I mean? And you gotta kind of you finished, Rick James. I'm pretty much there, my brother. Yeah, I'm pretty much there. I was telling everybody, I'm pretty much to the point now where I got both of the bathrooms done, running water, electricity, pool will be done on Monday. So y'all stay tuned. I'm excited. I'm a little anxious to put that out there. You dropped off, bro. Yeah, I did. I dropped off for a minute. It was my for some reason my phone just died out on me. So, but yeah, guys, I'm pretty much at the point where the house is livable. The only thing that I have to do left with the first level is the kitchen. Okay, that's the last thing I'm gonna do. And the kitchen will be done by October. I have some more money to complete it, but all of what I'm gonna do when I come near the end of this month, guys, as I said, for those of you who are just tuning in, I have the cabinet guy coming out. I'm going to have my builder give me an estimate on the top level, okay, so that I know what my budget needs to look like when I get started next year. And I always tell you guys, if you are not prepared to do your construction, whatever phase that you're in, and you get a budget, just know that that budget is going to could change from the time you get it, from the time you're ready to get started. All right, that's because the price of materials can change within a drop of a second. All right, so just keep that in mind. So yeah, I'm gonna have my builder give me the estimate on the top level. That way, I know how many cement blocks that I need. So once I'm ready to get started in January, the beginning of next year, I'll have the money. If not all, I have the money to at least, because that's me. That's one thing I will say. Chamo is very, very good. My partner is very good with helping me figure out what we should do next. You know what I mean? And he says we because we are a team. Um, yeah. So he told me, he said, Jay, you know, focus on buying all your materials first, and then we'll work on the labor last. So that's the idea, guys. I'm gonna buy all my cement blocks, sand, gravel, and all that I need. And I honestly, guys, I still have materials left over from the first level. I still have stuff left over, and that's another thing when you are dealing with these contractors, guys, anything that is left over, that's the advantage of working with somebody directly versus working with like a contracting company. Because I rest assure you, anything that is left over is not going to you. It's going to somebody else. They're using those materials for their next project. You know what I mean? They're not going to tell you, oh, we got more ceramic tiles left over. Oh, we have this left over. Anything left over is being taken. Okay. So just keep that in mind when you're dealing with, different contractors. They take everything that's left over. Nothing is left behind. Okay? And another thing I got to mention to you guys, when you are doing your construction, I'm talking about flooring, okay? Ceramic tiles, any ceramic tile work, guys, make sure that you have extra tiles if in case the tiles break. Okay, you want to make sure you have extra tiles, guys. It's very important, because the tiles you buy, when you buy them and something happens to those tiles a couple of years down the line, in most cases the tiles are out of stock. So now you're gonna have to retile everything only because you can't find the tiles to replace the ones that you have. So just make sure you guys buy extra ceramic tiles for emergencies. Very important. World Travel, congratulations, bro. I appreciate you, my bro. Bro, make sure you vet these women before you move anyone in your house. Listen, World Traveler, you ain't said nothing but a word, bro. You ain't said nothing but a word, because let me tell you something. And that's a whole nother live about these Dominican women, man. And I'm not just gonna say Dominican women. I have a thing for an exotic women in general, but at this point in my life, man, I'm 44 years old, and I'm sitting here building this big ass house. This is my dream. This is something that I want for myself, and I'm setting a legacy, for myself now. And God forbid I die, I want to be able to leave this behind. I already know my daughter now, she's not anything that she has nothing to do with what I got going on in DR. So I said, God forbid something happens to me, who am I leaving this house to? So I'm like, yo, I would like to have, start a family and Of course, I want to do all of that, but at the same time, I tell y'all brothers and sisters, y'all have to protect your investments. You know what I mean? You become a target, and I realize that I'm not one of those brothers that's naive. You know, I took one bad experience, and that bad experience has molded me and taught me how to move and maneuver myself in Dominican Republic. I'm not one of those brothers that continue making the same mistakes when it comes to these women. A lot of y'all do it. A lot. I'm just not one of them, and that's one of the reasons why I have gotten this far. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of y'all go down to Dominican Republic and y'all spend all this money, just throwing money away. When I'm down there, I don't indulge into anything because I'm so focused. I can't see what's going on to my left, and I can't see what's going on to my right. Okay, this is why I got as far as I have gotten, only because I have cut that extracurricular bullshit off. I had to put my life on hold, my personal life, dealing with these women and stuff. How do you expect yourself to get ahead if you're constantly indulging? And you already know, man, dealing with whether she's from Dominican Republic, Haiti, Philippines, whatever. When you're dealing with a foreign woman, the idea is, whether you think whether it's not their idea, I should say, because it's a foreigner mentality. When you're dealing with a foreigner, the idea is you're expected to pay, to fit the bill, and all of that stuff. This is what's expected, and I know what that entails, and I'm just not in a position to do that right now. So this is why I remain, I move the way I move. You know what I mean? I don't give women any inclination that I possibly want to make something long term with them. I don't do that. I don't play with people's minds and heads and games. Like, I'm straight up. This is what it is. Take it or leave it. But you got to give them that option, and you have to put out there what it is that you're looking for. That way, there is no expectation. You understand? You can never get ahead if you go there spinning like you Donald Trump. World traveler, exactly, man. And I see it time and time again. I was on the live talking about that. These women, and shout out to Bo Rakes. He was like, Jay, you preaching to the choir, man. He's like, I be telling these brothers that all the time. If you're one of those brothers that's traveling out there 3 and 4 times a year, sacrifice, a year or two and not traveling so that you can save up some money and buy you a piece of property. If nothing else, you know, listen, I bought my property in 2018, I think. I didn't break ground until 2022. So it took me 4 years to break down before to break ground before I started. And then I went, well, I'd say the pandemic. I stopped traveling DR for 2 years only because of the pandemic. And then I think I went, like during the pandemic, maybe like one time towards the end, once, shit started clearing up out there. But, it took some time for me to, sacrifice and by not traveling so that I could save up my money to do, what I need to do. Bo Rakes is one of the most inspiring YouTuber. He gives free game to brothers, and that's my dude right there. Shout out to Bo Rakes, man. World Traveler. I will say that when I first started out, with the whole YouTube channel and stuff, Bo Rakes was one of the first brothers to really give me my flowers and encourage me, and what I'm saying, like, I've never met Bo Rakes in person, never met him in person, but I will say, I liked his channel too, so I started following him, and he reached out to me, and just showed some love and some support to me, man. So I'll for always be grateful of that. And if anybody knows what's going on with Bo Race, let me know, man, because I don't. His channel is not up anymore. So I'm like, I asked a few viewers, yo, what happened to Bo Rakes? Because he had a huge following on YouTube. And if you go on his channel now, look for him now, World Traveler. Bo Rakes' channel is no longer there, man. So I don't know what happened. And if anybody knows what happened to his channel, let me know. I'm just curious, like, yo, he had a huge following. It's unfortunate that, he built up his following for so many years for it to just disappear like that. I'll look it up and see. Yeah, man, his channel was no longer there. You type in Bo Rakes, you don't see nothing. The only thing that you see is collabs that he have done with like other YouTubers, but in terms of like his channel, it's no longer there, man. So I don't know what happened, you know. And that's another thing, you know, with dealing with these realtors and stuff like that. I see one thing about me, man. I noticed that when you're doing something that somebody else is doing, you start getting backlash. I got this shit on the wrong side. I'm like, why is it like that? Yeah, you start getting backlash and hate. I know he deleted his IG so he can focus on an early retirement. Got it. Got it. Okay. Okay. But yeah, you know, when you find people doing the same thing you doing, it's no reason for people to hate on each other, man. And I find that happening a lot, especially in DR, you know, with other YouTubers and stuff like that. Listen, I'm in my own lane. I'm not trying to compete with nobody. I'm not hating on anybody because at the end of the day, guys, it's enough money to go around for everyone, you know? And in DR, it's a small circle of people. So you may not like this person, but you'll end up running. You will eventually run into them and have to do business with them in some way, form, or fashion. You know what I mean? So my thing is, listen, let's all work together collectively and make it happen. You know what I mean? My grandmother used to always say, you what's that saying about the bees with the honey? Something I forgot what she said about the bees. You reap more honey with be something, but you know when you work together as a team, man, you achieve more. You know, you achieve more as a team. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, like I'm connected with YouTubers, realtors, Punta Cana, Santo Domingo, Santiago. Because if there's something that I don't have on the North Coast, and somebody reaches out to me on YouTube and like, "Yo, do you have anything here? Do you have anything there?" I want to be able to direct them to wherever I can direct them to. You know, of course, I get my little commission out of it, but it's you know I'm listen I'm mainly here to help people to get to where they want to be. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, and that's my goal. And if I got to connect and work with other people so that I can help people, then that's what I'm going to do. But when I find it that you know you got people that just they see what you doing, they doing it, and they just be hating on you shine, you know? And I'm just like, man, I'm not here for that, man. There's enough money to go around for everybody. Stop the bullshit and let's work together and come together collectively and make it happen, you know? Jay, there is also a lot of hating amongst black expats in DR, especially the North Coast. Bro, you think I don't know what's going on? And this is why I say to myself, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not one of those brothers that needs to be in the. I guess that's probably why my channel ain't as popping as like some of the other YouTubers, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. You know, I'm not one of those brothers that need to be in the limelight to try to get in with this YouTuber because that YouTuber's got thousands of followers. Like, no, I built my platform on my own, and I'm not gonna let somebody else say, "Oh, you know, he got his following because of me." You know, and it's just too much of that, and I see a lot of that going on, and that's why when most of you guys see me posting, especially when I'm in DR, I merely encircle myself with the local people, you know, and make connections with the locals because I already see what the vibe is given, you know, when it comes to the black expat community, and it's sad. It's sad to say the least that we just can't come together and work together, you know, as a whole, man. It really is, you know. But that's just the way it is, man. And this is why yo, huh? You missing keys? Nah, I got my keys. Listen, I got so many keys on here. If it drop, I know it dropped. You feel me? Word up. It's for real. I make sure I got a lot of keys. That way, that shit drop, I know. Oh, these are my keys. But yeah, guys, YouTuber deleting channels, so be careful what you say in post, brother. Yeah, I'm always careful of what I say in posts. Most stuff that I put out is informative information and things that I could do to help people. And that's why I created this channel, mainly to help people. Only because when I was looking for the help that I needed, you know, and when I was looking for the help, everybody was trying to, you know, get over get over on me. And I was like, you know what? Fuck that. Excuse my French. I'm like, fuck it. I'm gonna have to navigate and do this shit on my own. And I did. And I don't got to talk about it, guys. The proof is in the pudding. You know what I'm saying? It is. And as I was doing it, I seen haters. You had people saying, crazy things. Oh, he's giving out misinformation and be careful. You guys have no idea some of the stuff that was being left on my channel when I first got started. And then not just that, not just that, I would say YouTubers, people that wasn't following me. Now, once I started exposing certain things, my name started to come out and ring bells, and people started, saying certain things. And yeah, but like I said, I never let any of that stop me. I could have let stuff discouraged me from continuing on, but I just realized, man, I expats that I do deal with are on the same page as me, and those are the kind of brothers that I want to encircle myself, I'm sorry, around. Positive vibes and people that are doing the same thing as me. Anything other than that, the extracurricular, the bullshit that goes on, I don't. I'm good on that. you know, I'm good on that, man. I really am. And you guys see, most times when I'm out there, a lot of stuff content that I'm putting out is mainly, real estate, houses, apartments. But I said, this time around, I'm really going to focus on just me chilling on a regular out in DR, and I'm going to be putting out more personal content. And like I said, some houses and stuff, but I want to give you guys another side, show you guys another side of me opposed to just putting out, videos of houses and stuff like that. If that makes sense. Yeah. I love my brothers, but when I go on YouTube and see all the videos that get the most views are about women, that's when I know our race is declining. It is unfortunate, because you have a lot of YouTubers that are popular just based on, stuff that like I said, everybody has their own craft and own hustle and how they want to do things and how they want to maneuver and manage their channel. But I don't hate on nobody, man. And if you one of those brothers that's getting your likes and your popularity based on women and stuff, then hey, so be it. You know what I mean? Who am I to knock somebody else on the Madison channel? However, that's not who I am, And if I'm only getting half of the followers only because, listen, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. For me, it's not a race. You know what I mean? Everybody has their time. Everybody has their time, man. And, eventually my time will come. That's just my mentality. I never focused on what the next man is doing. I'm always thinking about me and what I gotta accomplish for myself. You know what I mean? Yeah. So with that being said, guys, I'm gonna end this live. I appreciate all the love and support. I'm just gonna give a few shout outs. Shout out to Nobody 92. Shout out to Joseph. Shout out to Philly Dom, Side Dude 007. Shout out to Able Music, Magulian, Copperman 69, and World Travel. And all of the ones that I shouted out, y'all been, some really like faithful supporters. Whether you new and old to the channel, I know who's who, and I appreciate that, man. And I just want you guys to know it hasn't gone unnoticed. You got that, bro? Close call. Yeah, it hasn't gone unnoticed. So I appreciate all the love and support. And with that being said, for those of you guys who are going to be in Dominican Republic this month, I'll be down there August 29th through September 12th, 2 whole weeks. Can't wait. Peace, J Day. Appreciate you, bro. Can't wait to get down there and see the property that you got in Santiago, man. I'm really, I just want to say it again. Nobody 92. because he reached out to me and it made me feel good, man. It did. He said, Jay, I just want to thank you for encouraging me. You're the reason why I stepped out and made this investment and buying this property in Santiago. And it made me feel good because I feel like, all of what I'm doing, it has, it has put an impact on certain people, man. It has. And, if I can make an impact on one person's life, man, then I've done something good. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, man, just continue to strive to do great things, guys. Um, Invest your money in the right places and do your research, man. Do your research, man. For real, I highly encourage y'all to do that comes to buying research, real estate and investing in the Dominican Republic. Do your research. All right. So I'll be seeing y'all soon. Y'all stay tuned. This coming Thursday, um, I'm doing a live with Izora. What happened? We gonna baby. We gonna look. We gonna talk. Yeah, we gonna talk. This is like you've been out of the loop for a minute, so I gotta put you on. Yeah. Um, yeah, guys. So be sure to check out this coming Thursday with Izora. She is a YouTuber. For those of you who don't follow her, Dominican YouTuber who is just doing great things. Built a house from ground up in the Campo. I forgot what part of DR. Because she's got a lot of land for sale. So we just gonna vibe out for a good hour, maybe a good hour and a half, and talk about all about Dominican Republic, her building from her perspective, from my perspective, and any questions that you guys want to have. I think this live is going to be very informative, helpful for anybody who's looking to get started with their construction. Remember, I told you I wasn't going to do it, laugh out loud, and you talked me into it. Yeah, I remember. Bro. I remember when I first started the channel. You were one of my first supporters, man. And you were like, Jay, when you gonna make? You kept. When you gonna make another live? When you gonna do another live? And we went from talking about lives and how you should invest in DR, and then look, 2 years later, you hit me up like, Jay, I made that move. I made that investment. Yeah, man. So I'm really, really proud and happy for you. Now it's time for you to start getting that money up so that you can start that foundation and so on and so on. And I tell people, man, if you don't got the money to do something big, start small. Start small. Do a 66 square meter construction. You can always add on to it, whether you want to go high, whether you want to go wide. But you got to start somewhere, guys. You got to start somewhere. If you keep sitting around waiting for the price of materials to go down, the price of inflation to go down, you sadly mistaken. It's not going to happen. So you might as well start buying your materials. And like I said, guys, the Factoria can hold your materials until you're ready to get started.